Hello everybody, this is Julie. So thank you so much everyone for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much to everybody who's listening in the podcast. Today is June 4th. Today is Wednesday, 2025. I needed to come here and do this follow-up video regarding what happened last year with influencer Candice Miller from the Mama and Tata uh, brand. I mean, they have they do so many things. Sometimes it's kind of hard to describe it, but I know I came here last year and made this episode regarding everything that happened to her and the husband when they went on vacation, but he stayed behind. Everything that happened to that. And there's an update regarding this case, so this is why I wanted to do a follow-up video. Before I continue, of course, I want to say thank you so much to everybody who's using Spotify to listen to the podcast. Don't forget to follow me there. And everybody, of course, who's watching this video right now on YouTube, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, okay? Last year I came, like I said, and spoke about this incident that happened in this family and how heartbreaking it must have been for her and the young children to go through something like this, right? And it's another thing that kind of reveals how you just really don't know. You don't know what people go through in life. We rely so much on social media to make sure somebody is okay, right? Sometimes people don't even reach out to you. They just say, oh yeah, I posted that you did this or you did the other, and everything look good, but they tell you that like in conversation, like months after. They don't even, they rely so much on what you post on social media to say she's good because she's doing this, he's good because he's posting this. And really, social media is just, it's kind of like a two different life for a lot of people. Nobody's going to put their hard moments, nobody's going to put their financial difficulties on social media, nobody's going to share their fights and things like this, right? The mental struggles. It's very hard for people to do that, right? Because sometimes vulnerability leads to judgment, right? So it's kind of hard to do that. And in case you didn't know the story, which I'm going to share briefly and very selective what I say, Candice Miller, she is a mommy blogger, and I believe it was her sister who's part of this blog called Mama and Tata. She's an influencer. She um she went on vacation last year with her daughters, and the husband stayed behind, and then he was found he was found in their house deceased, okay? And you guys can probably understand what I'm saying that if you never heard this story. And right now, that happened last year, July of 2024, like I said. And right now there's an update about this. The shocking thing besides the fact how he left this earth, um, was that the family, I mean, the financial were, they were in a lot of debt, and he was in a desperation mode, basically. And it's so sad that, you know, let me just tell you something, guys. There's always a solution for everything. Okay, it might look like it's so big, like there's no solution for this. There's always a solution, and harming yourself is never the answer. Never. There's always a solution. And his debt, they say that debt was all the way up to $33.6 million in debt. And Candice also shared that she really never questioned financials with him. And everybody, married couples, they do things different. Everybody they do things differently. Obviously, some people they want to see everything. Everything is up all in the open, and some people are very private and they don't even share information with their spouses, right? And that's just how people are, right? And it's so sad that he had to come to that. And the family, like I said, was away on vacation, and finding out all of this information while they're in another country, it must have been heartbreaking. So far away from home with her children, and not only that, to to understand what he went through mentally, probably thinking that was the only answer to the resolution to their problems, right? So the update about this is that, excuse me, it says here that Candice Miller is back on Instagram nearly a year after the death of her husband, real estate mogul Brandon Miller. On Monday, June 2nd, Candice shared a quote attributed to Arbor Camus about finding strength in difficult times, and that was her first post on Instagram since Brandon's death in July of 2024, so last year. In the midst of winter, this is what the quote said. Beautiful photo, by the way, too. I saw it. He said, "In the midst of winter, I found there was within me an invisible summer." She captioned a photo of a sunset behind the clouds, setting over the ocean. And that makes me happy, she said, for it says that no matter how hard the world pushes against me, within me, there's something stronger, something better pushing right back, she concluded. And you need to understand, to see something like this, is great because you need to understand there's children involved in this, right, that go through this, and she has to be so strong for them too. Not only she has to be strong for herself, she has to be strong for her children, right? And sometimes you just have to face what's happening and, just pray about it, get with God and just continue. And God is always there with you no matter what, right? And it says here that the post came after reports that Candice has allegedly become responsible for the husband $33.6 million in debt, including $20 million in unsecured loans, $2.1 million owed to U.S. Bank, $11.25 million owed to BMO Bank, $300,000 owed to American Express, and additional funds owed to family and friends, according to court filings made by her. So the debt basically was transferred over to her. So, to see her posting something like this, right there that you're dealing with somebody who's very, very strong, and she's very ready to take over whatever comes. It's already been almost a year of what happened with the husband, and we can only, pray for her so that she continues strong, right? In late August 2024, the widow, who reportedly received $50 million from life insurance policy from the husband's death, agreed to pay around $4 million to settle an unpaid lawsuit, according to the news. She also denied owning $200K in rent on her late husband's Park Avenue apartment since she didn't sign the lease, which, that makes sense. But the thing is that when you're married, everything is like they see you as a one person, I'm assuming, right? So she didn't sign the lease, but um, you know, their marriage is not like they were like separating, nothing like this, or going through a divorce, nothing like that, right? Candice reportedly put the Hamptons home, which had 4 mortgages totaling almost $12 million, on the market. He eventually sold following an offer of $12.8 million and another for $13 million. Two sources said to the news. And as of December 2024, Candice has been living in a $10 million condominium with her daughters in Miami Beach, which 3 sources told the news that is on a loan to her. So somebody is helping her, obviously. He died on July 3rd, 3 days after being found unresponsive from carbon monoxide poisoning when he in his car at the home in the Hamptons. He was taken to a local hospital late on June 30 after being discovered by first responders who were alerted by a carbon monoxide alarm at the home. According to the incident from the Southampton Fire Department, citing law enforcement sources said that his death was self-harm and he left a note to the family. So yeah, it's very, I remember reading this for the first time, what happened to him. It was, it's so sad. Um, they say that this man was desperate, asking for money. He couldn't even get a loan on a credit card for $1,000. He was so desperate for borrowing money from even friends and family, right? And owing so much money, he was just, desperate. I'm very surprised though. Like I said, everybody lives their life differently. I'm very surprised that she had no idea what was going on, right? Because when I mean, I'm assuming, right, that when you live with somebody, and that's your spouse, like you see change behavior, right? No, like people cannot hide it for that long that there's something going on, right? You begin to get calls, you get um, you know, bills in the mail. You get bills in the mail. You see how some people, they get nervous, they owe too much money, they refuse to, like, they always want to do everything at home. Oh, let's not go out or something. But he, I guess he didn't want to worry her, right? Especially with the young children. So it says here that he was juggling extensive financial pressures, including millions in loans and mortgages, and had also taken out life insurance policies. A family spokesperson said that Candice is devastated by the loss of her soulmate, and her two young daughters' lives are forever impacted by the loss of their beloved daddy. So it's very sad. Let me see, you guys, if we get any comments here that they're saying, when it comes to something like this, right? Obviously, the people looking at it from the outside, the public, and they're gonna see an influencer who got, like, I think I spoke about this in my first video I made about this case. They're gonna always, because we as human, we always want to find a blame of on somebody, right? Who was responsible for this, or somewhat responsible, maybe not 100%, but somewhat responsible. And people were always gonna look at things that they'll be like, if they were in so much financial troubles, why is she getting $300 manicures or whatever, right? There was like a whole list that came out last year, and she's an influencer living, this life, and he was in so much financial troubles. But you need to understand though that she had no clue that this was going on, right? And when you have somebody on this side telling you, oh, just there's no, you spend it. I know how you like your nice things. Go and spend that money. Maybe he didn't say this verbally, but I'm saying you see it like on those back in the day, you will see the housewife, right? The housewife or of Atlanta or something like this, and you see how these people spend money, right? And I'm saying this because back then those were the influencers. They just had a reality TV show, right? Now there's so many influencers, right? And these people are bringing in a lot of money, and just because they don't, they're not on reality TV doesn't mean that they're not, they have that they don't have the status of big influencers. And you see how these people, which, by the way, some of them did getting into a lot of trouble financially. But I guess once you have this status that you reach, right, especially on social media, you are to maintain it. You want to be, you know, continue to be invited to, like, the what do they call, the trunk shows, the fashion shows, the big boutique openings, and you want to do so many things just to keep yourself relevant, right? And people, like I said, when it comes to when you see something like this and you see somebody who was struggling so much financially, and she's saying, I was not aware of any financial issues, people, as a human nature, we always want to find somebody who's at fault, right? Who was responsible for this? And the people can say, look at her, she was an influencer, gaining so many, doing all of this stuff that are so expensive, and he's dealing with other financial things. But she had no, she wasn't aware of that. And now all of that debt that he owed, like I said, it transferred over to her. That's crazy. And I'm glad that obviously they're working to settle a lot of this debt, right? But wow, that's, I just read to you guys all of that, right? Like $300,000 on American Express card and millions to different banks. Wow. So people are saying here on the show, of course, she was responsible for racking up all the debt and dealing with them. They're saying that she openly bragged about the lifestyle those debt were buying her, and her family wanted to claim ignorance after he passed. Somebody said also it's because he kept trying to live up to her IG profile. She knew he wasn't okay financially and kept egging on it. That's what I'm telling you guys. Once once these people reach a level, especially Instagram, man. As I use it a lot, I post a lot for my business and all of that. But it comes to a point that you like. Sometimes if you question Instagram, right? There's a lot of things that you see there, and like you cannot pass. Like people are always on vacation. Like what is going on? Like these are regular people, or like everybody's always like every 2 weeks they're on vacation, like to a far country, and then they post in like their cars and all of that. They always come. Once they get that level, they have to maintain it, and it can really take somebody mentally a lot to remove themselves from that lifestyle. Because once they reach that level, they'll be like, well, if I don't go to this thing, even though it's like $1,000 to enter, I'm gonna feel like I'm missing out, right? And then they start racking it up into they're in big trouble, right? Obviously, I'm not saying this will happen with her, but I'm saying similar influencers, they tend to do that. Um, so now I also wanted to update you guys. I read somewhere, I don't know why this article doesn't say it. She also has become a life coach. So that is her new position. I'm sure after going through something so dramatic like this, she probably has a lot of insight, right? Maybe things that now she's realizing that she thought they were nothing, but she kind of like realized it was actually something going on with him. So she has now become, let me read to you. I'm looking for the thing. Hold on. Um, so right now they're saying she's living in Florida, right? And see, she says here she has always maintained that she was not aware of her husband's finances or business dealing like it's almost like sounds like Teresa Judice, who actually went to jail. I think it was for 3 years or something like this. She also said that she had no idea. She didn't know what she was signing with. When Joe will come and like give her paperwork, she's like, I had no idea what I was signing, and she actually ended up going to jail for some tax issue that she had. So yeah, that's very sad. So right now she's trying to settle everything for 4 million. Um, they live in Miami, like I said. And it says here she's not shopping at Chanel every day, but day to day she's living her life. She's residing in an expensive apartment that has been loaned to her by her friends. And she's, just trying to, what do they say when people they're trying to reestablish themselves once again, right? And like I said, she has to because the two kids too, right? And what they went through was very public too, very dramatic and very public. So that is the update, you guys. I know that they also say that right now she's a life coach. So, like I said, going through all of that, I'm sure she has a lot of insights about, life and things like this. So, let me know, guys. I know a lot of people have listened to my previous episode regarding um, this, influencer Candice Miller. I know that a lot of people listen to the previous episode, like I said. So, there's a lot of interest in this. Let me know, guys, what you think about this. Thank you so much, everybody. Let me know what you think about this new update. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming back to the channel. Thank you for listening in the podcast. Have a good day, everybody. God bless. I have a try is